Hey everyone, and welcome to the PokePlush Podcast. This is a Pokemon podcast where everybody here is Pokemon plush collectors. I am one of your hosts, Pittoo, as well as that I'm joined by one of the other hosts, Brando,
Hey,
and as well as that, Sabi. And today we are going to be doing a little summary of each other. We're going to just kind of be talking about Pokemon plushies, just getting an introduction to everybody. And first off, Sabi, if you'd like to go first, I do have one question for you to start off with.
Sure, go ahead.
Awesome. First question is going to be like, what first got you into Pokemon? So, like, what was your first game? Just stuff like that. What got you into collecting the plushies as well?
So I'm kind of old school in that I started with the original games. My very first introduction to Pokemon was actually Pokemon Green that a cousin of mine ended up with a copy of because his dad was like a CEO of a pretty big company and he traveled to Japan and brought it back. So we fumbled around trying to figure out Pokemon Green, and then a couple years later, I ended up getting the Pokemon Yellow Special Edition Game Boy Color, and I've kind of been hooked ever since.
Nice.
As far as collecting the plush, um, I'm actually more of a what you would call a quote unquote Pokemon collector, in that I collect specific Pokemon and not just plush, but all the Pokemon have tons of plush.
Yeah, I know for sure you like. I believe you're a Litten and a Sprigatito fan, correct?
I am. I am.
So you got like, are you like? Do you have any pet cats? If you don't mind me asking.
I do. I have four, actually.
Oh, nice. Me and my girlfriend are planning to, whenever we move out, getting a dog and a cat. And I've never had a cat of my own. So I'm like, oh God, I really hope that it's like going to be a pleasant surprise and it's going to be like a good cat.
I would say just as long as you adopt one alongside another dog, so it's used to dogs. Because we did have a pupper at one point, but the cats hated him.
Oh, that poor dog.
Yes, but he did end up getting epilepsy, so we gave him to my mother-in-law.
Okay, I got that. So it worked out in the end, I guess. Yeah, I'm thinking about like whenever we get the cat, probably maybe getting it like a few months first and then getting the puppy. And then like I saw some videos on how to train them properly. And so I'm excited for that.
Yeah, they're definitely a great addition. I recommend them.
All right, and Brando, for you, what first got you into the Pokemon? So like the community, everything that I asked Sabby, as well as that. What I also asked, what's your like reason for getting into collecting?
so I got into Pokemon way back in middle school. It started with the trading card game. I just always found like the art on the cards. And whenever I see, other kids with them, I was just like, oh my god, like I like the little art. And so I, started with the cards, and then it went on to the anime, and then it went on to the games. So it was kind of like a little cute little chain effect. And what got me into plushes specifically was just I was trying to be a Pokemon trainer for Halloween, like back in 2021, and I just wanted. I guess I just had this cute little Pikachu, and I don't know what exactly clicked, but for me, it was just like, yeah, I have like, like why not try to get the rest of the Pokemon? Like, be like, get, just have a cute little. I mean, it's just started off with a six, and now it's like over 100 something. So yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's kind of like how it kind of happened with me. I like started off. The first like Pokemon trainer I ever really saw, like not counting Ash, was Hilbert and Hilda from Black and White, because that's the game. I think that's about the same time you probably started playing. Was it the same time you started playing video games like Black and White, or what generation did you start by chance?
So I started with X and Y um, on the 3DS. So yeah, I started with that, and then went on from there.
Okay, so we were living in like the like middle age where it's like 3DS and DS going through. But through like
Yeah.
collecting, I was like, since I was a Gen 5 kid, I just kind of started collecting like through my friend for my birthday. He actually got me a bunch of plushies before I even owned the game, because that's whenever the anime was like already going a little bit. We had our first few episodes, and I had a Oshawott, a Tepig, a Snivy, a Muna, and I'm sure I had like another one for maybe. Through later, I was able to get a Zorua, I know for sure, or my friend owned a Zorua, and he happened to live with us at the time, and that's kind of how I started with like plush collecting and Pokemon in general. Is I just kind of started collecting in the beginning, and then I finally got the video game, and from there I just kind of started collecting more plushies, and then just playing more video games. Sabby, you said that you like started off with green, correct?
Yeah, I'm really old school listening to you guys, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm
Well,
so old.
I think that's pretty good though, like having like different like time gaps where one person's like from the beginning basically, another person's like in the middle of the road, and then another person was like from into the 3D era. I feel like that kind of fits. And looking back on it through like all the plushies and stuff, it kind of fits with that too. Cause I know there's like a bunch of brands that I like started off with. Like those brands that I first got was the Jack Specific brand, which I think was like $7 to $10. Going, I think me and Brando were actually talking about it when we last tried to film this episode, and the audio was messed up about how like cheap they used to be. And then I believe I like, I believe like Sabby, you said that you were like, I don't think you said it. I think I like saw it on one of your past videos, but like you collected like the older plushies. Is that what it was? Or what kind of plushies did you start out with?
Actually, so I don't. Sorry, I'm a little sick, so if my voice cracks, that's why. But
You're good.
I actually don't collect vintage Pokemon, and I actually like. I don't know. Something about that niche of collecting Pokemon just like really bothers me because it's just like this become this like gatekeeping kind of thing,
Oh yeah,
which
for
is not
sure.
what Pokemon is about. Where some people are kind of like, well, I was there in the beginning. That's not my favorite, but because I grew up with it, I do have a lot of nostalgia for it. I'm trying to think what my very first like actual plush was because Hasbro owned the rights to licensed Pokemon in the US, but there were these things called Mirage Plush, who like any company was basically pumping out these crazy Pokemon plush. That's why you'll see it's these Mirage pop up for like hundreds of sometimes thousands of dollars because they're so rare. But I want to say that the Hasbro Raichu is probably my first that I remember specifically my dad getting for me for a birthday right before we moved to Europe and kind of wasn't able to really collect Pokemon at the time.
Oh, that's actually like you said you went to Europe or you lived in Europe?
Yeah, so my dad worked for the NSA, so we ended up moving um, from the US to Germany for like 6 years. So there was like a lull in which I was only getting video games. I'd make comebacks to the US to visit family, and I'd pick up anything Pokemon I could find. Like I want to say those Hasbro plushies from Hoenn with like Plusle, Minun, the starters. Like,
Ooh,
got
yeah. I
all
think
those. I still have those.
are those the ones that are like laying down, kinda?
Yes, and
Okay,
they're the best. Those are the best plush. Like,
I got
I
two
recommend
Tricos in my shop.
everyone. Yes, they're so good.
But so you started out with Hasbro. I started out with Jack Specific, and then do you remember what brand
Yeah.
was your first one, Brando?
Um, let me let me see. Actually, I think I can get up and look at it now because I'm on my phone. Um,
Because I know for sure like
this
the
one is this.
X. Oh, you keep on going. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, no, you're good. So, as earlier I mentioned, the one I use for the Halloween costume is Jazzwares. But this small little keychain I got is from Tommy.
Oh yeah, and the Tomy, the keychain with your first one, correct?
Yeah, the one I got from Hot Topic a long, long time ago.
Okay, cool, cool. Because I remember, I do remember like back whenever Gen 6 was a thing, and going actually to the midnight release to get X and Y. I like got a Froakie and I got a Chespin and a Charmander, and I think during that era, it was like the what was it? The Tomy was like ruling over the plushies, and now it's like Jazzwares. So you could like see the era that it kind of goes by. I believe that Jazzwares may be like currently the longest like in store brand that you usually see, but I may be wrong
Hmm.
because I feel like they've
So
been.
Jazzwares,
Oh, you keep it going. Sorry.
it used to be. Sorry, so Jazzwares bought it was Wicked Cool Toys, and Jazzware bought Wicked Cool Toy because they were the ones. Like I remember in an Incineroar figure, they were the ones pumping out the figures and the plush, and Jazzwares I think bought them out, and
Oh,
now
that
Jazzwares has kind of taken over.
that actually makes a lot of sense. I didn't even know like Wicked Cool Toys got bought out by Jazzwares because I've seen plushies with the Wicked Cool Toys logo, but I never knew like they actually went out and like formed or I guess blended with Jazzwares. So that's pretty interesting to know. So it was like during the Sun and Moon
Yeah,
era, I'm guessing.
I think so. Yeah, because Incineroar, when it first released, was a wicked cool toy, the figure I have, and I know it's getting re-released under Jazzware's name.
Oh, okay, that's cool. All right. And then I think we should move on to the last main question I think I have, unless y'all really want to talk about anything else in this like little certain area. I was gonna say, do y'all have a favorite plush in your collection? Whenever me and Brando were actually like talking about it, we had a like he couldn't come up with one fully by him like one like just one plush, so he came up with like a top 5 list. I was thinking maybe we could all do a top 3 list if that is cool with y'all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Cool. So, Brando or Sabi, who would ever like to go first?
You go first.
Me? Okay.
Yeah.
Um, so I guess I don't know if I should lump them into one, but I have two of the original Pokemon Center giants. I have Suicune and I have Entei's,
Oh my
and
god, it's
desperately
beautiful.
want a Raikou, but Um, those are probably my top favorite just because they're from 2001 and they were originally sold in the Pokemon Center in New York, and you could actually buy them online, and they were originally retailed for like $500, and now they're like thousands. But having those is really cool. I'd have to say number two would be my 110 Aura because that was pre-order only, and you had to order it from the Japanese Pokemon Center. And I got really lucky in finding one secondhand for not much more of a markup. And then I think the very last one for slot three would have to be my Heartland Skitties because those are another really rare one that are hard to find, which is owned by Tomy, but they're these like big giant plush, and I used to own a whole bunch of the different ones like Lucario, and I have Charizard still, but the Skitties are probably the rarest because Gen 3 just that merch is so exclusive for some reason.
I feel like you have like the most holy grails I've ever seen in somebody's collection. Like the fact that you were able to get Entei and Suicune. Was that from like the same person, or were you just lucky like twice?
No. I was
Oh my
actually
gosh.
so Suicune, I was insanely lucky because I got her for way less than she would be worth now. Like, I'm talking like really, really low. And it's because she was dirty, but she was so easy to clean up. And then Entei, I bought from someone from the Live Journal who was selling him on eBay, who actually managed to find him at like a yard sale at someone's home. And I definitely overpaid for him, but he's perfect.
Yeah, I was gonna say it seems worth it, especially like has it gone up in price since you got it?
And he's actually remained relatively stable. Like he's definitely kind of lingered in the like 2500 to 3500 range. And then Suicune, another one that's kind of lingered in the 2500 range. It kind of comes and goes. Like it switches between which of these are the rarest. Right now there's Lugia for like ridiculous amounts. I don't recommend paying 20K for one because they're not
Oh,
worth that much. But
Lugia seems to have like the
I'd say
most.
Raikko's
Oh, sorry. I was gonna just say that
yeah.
Lugia seems to be like one of the most expensive plushies, no matter what it is. Like I think Shadow Lugia is like really expensive too, isn't it? or like the
Yeah,
Pokédogs?
I actually got really lucky with that.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, you have
got
one.
really lucky
Okay,
with that
another Grail. And sorry, I didn't mean to
too.
cut you off that second ago. If you want to keep on going with whatever your thought was.
No, it's okay. I was just saying that Raikou is somehow the most elusive. Like there were tons of Raikou, and the second I'm like, okay, I can afford it. Nothing. Crickets. Can't find one.
At least in like my own experience, I do feel like Raikou is like like least popular out of the three. I don't really get because honestly, Raikou was one of my favorites from the beginning. So like seeing like Suicune and Entei everywhere, or at least for the most part everywhere, and then not like being able to find Raikou, that kind of makes sense to me. Because
Actually, so it actually swapped where being an Entei collector, like I used to collect all three beasts, so I used to be really knowledgeable about like which was most popular. Suicune and Raikou actually used to take the cake for popularity. Raikou just had less merch because he didn't get a movie until the Master of Illusion, where the three shinies were released. But
oh yeah,
I had zero to none competition for Entei, and now it's just like these people coming out of the woodwork loving Entei, and I'm like, okay, that's
all the
cool.
all the Gen 2 people really like. I feel like Gen 2 now, especially that we're maybe going to be getting another game in the future, like a Let's Go game, maybe. We'll see about that. That's what a lot of people have been like
Ugh, I
thinking about.
wish.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'd be really happy with that as long as we're able to have like easier Pokemon because I really want to use Houndour and like a Johto playthrough because that would be a dream of mine. But
Yes.
I feel like with that happening, a lot more people are like getting invested in like the legendary dogs again. And I think that Go got like a Suicune, so that probably brought some more eyes onto them again from the anime and such. I believe Entei is actually gonna be like one of the main like hero Pokemon in the new anime Horizons too, I believe.
That means more merchandise? I'm not ready.
Oh yeah, for sure. And how about you, Brando? Do you have a top three in your list? I know you had a top five. Are you able? Have you decided on any other top threes that you might want to change it to, or are you pretty certain about the ones you had?
I might switch it up, except for maybe one. Um, the first one I would say still my Ash hat Pikachu from Pokemon Center. I really love that one. It's just like the anime reminiscent of just watching the anime since that was one of my um gateways into Pokemon, you could say. Um, my second one, um, I would probably say, I'm trying to think. I would probably say the sleeping Bulbasaur that I got at GameStop last year. Um, just because it's like one of the first sleeping ones I ever got, and I just really like it. It's really cute. Um, it's also really like squishy too, which I really like that. And then for the third, I would probably say the 24-inch Gengar that I got from GameStop, just because he was my first big one. So yeah, I would say those three.
I remember whenever we were trying to record this last up time, we were both like nerding out about how awesome that Gengar was. It's like one of my favorites as well. I don't know if it's top three for me, but like it is definitely one of my favorites. I use it for all the Hollow.
Hmm.
But for me, it's
Definitely a
kind.
very solid choice.
Oh yeah, I agree. It's like really good choices. Even though you like started in Kalos, I like kind of see you being more of a like Gen 1 fan with like the Pikachu and the nostalgia and like Gengar and the such.
I actually am like I love Gen 1 so much. I remember when they first put the red and blue on the DS, I was like begging my dad for Nintendo eShop cards so I could buy them. Like I remember I specifically like actually getting on his nerves about that. And I was like, I need these cards. I need to be able to buy this game because I want to play Gen 1. And it's just like when I saw in Pokemon Center that they, for the Sitting Cuties, they were bringing back a lot of Gen 1. I was like, oh my god, now I can finally get an Ivysaur and a Charmeleon now. which is what I'm trying to get. And then I recently got a Clefairy, which I'm really happy about.
The sad part about that though is the that $20 uptake basically for getting one plush, which is, oh god, very terrible.
Yeah, two of them is like $33. And it's just like, that's most definitely a get when I have money to spend. But yeah,
Like turn to Macari and eBay auctions to like start getting my plushes secondhand because I don't like have a problem with them being secondhand for the most part. I like getting them for pretty cheap if I'm able to. Like I think I just bought this Ben Presto like fuzzy Pikachu and it's really cute and I got it for like $10 off of Whatnot. It's such a good deal.
yeah, same. I like Macari. It's just like with Macari, you gotta kind of like be careful with I would say sanitation
Oh, for
reasons
sure.
with some sellers because I actually had an incident with a seller. Well, it's not the seller's fault. The seller was actually like very nice and like very like understanding and trying to resolve the issue on their end. But it was a Fennekin I got from Pokemon Center or that came from Pokemon Center that they were selling. And the problem with that one is that a worm came out of the ear fluff and I was like, "Oh my god!" But it was only one worm, and I was able to pick it out with like little tools or whatever. And I looked on Google, and they say, um, if you have like plushes and stuff like that, and you're just like concerned about bugs, put them in a dryer, and then like for like I think a certain number of minutes, like 10 or 15, and like that should like kill any bug or whatever. But it wasn't a big deal. I wasn't like, oh my god, but it's like I've been sanitizing. Like I take the spray sanitizer and just like spray because it's just like you don't know where these come from, really, truly.
The way my face like cringed as soon as I heard a bug coming out of the ear, that like made me want to go grab all of my plushies, just throw them all in the dryer right now. Oh god.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, it's a bug, but it's like I don't know if the bug came from the seller or from like who does Macari do? USPS. So
Yeah.
I was like, oh, like I don't want to blame the seller, and I messaged them like I was like, being respectful. I was like, I don't know if this came from you or from USPS, but there was a bug, and I'm just like letting you know. And she was like, or they, I don't know who it was, but they were just like, oh, we're gonna thank you for letting me know. I'm gonna make sure to check all my plushes and other items. And I was like, yeah, it's just to keep them a heads up. I wasn't trying to call them dirty or nothing. Um, yeah, it's just basically trying to like be aware of what's going on. But yeah, everything's solved. I still look at that Fennekin every now and then to make sure there's no more bugs coming out, and it hasn't been a bug in months, so I'm fine with it now.
It was a little bug. It was just little Applin, He just looking for his apple.
Yeah,
Um, for
Fear
me,
unlocked that I'm gonna end up
oh,
with bed bugs in my bowl.
oh yeah, oh god, I'm scared. Especially like, imagine if it just being like a small bug for like a small plush, but as you get like the bigger plushies, like they get bigger bugs. That's, oh god. Now I'm gonna have like a nightmare where I'm gonna like look at my plushie and just see a big old spider or something chilling on it.
Oh, jeez.
yeah, especially with the ones that have like the fur like texture.
Oh
Um,
god.
which I'm not really I'm really not that scared anymore. It's just like as of today, it was just a little one time thing that happened. Um, but you gotta even be careful when the ones that come from the store because I see sometimes plushes in the store that's like dirty, and I'm just like,
Oh yeah.
uh.
Like whenever the kids get a hold of them and they get those like mystery stains on them, I'm like, ugh.
Ew.
We like almost let go of Slowpoke. Like back whenever the new big Slowpoke were kind of rare to find, we almost like go let one go because we were like, oh, I don't like that mystery stain, but then ended up not really being a stain. So we kind of like dodged a bullet there. But God, it's like crazy how bad you'll like find some of those like not even pre-owned plushies just dirty like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Jazzwares isn't known for their good quality control.
Oh my god, trust me, I know that because one of the Oshawotts that I'm giving away for my like subscriber like giveaway, his shell like for Jack that version is just like very messed up. It's like nasty messed up. Just they are
Hmm.
not good with that. But for my top three, I kind of have been thinking about it because I was like, man, I should have put these guys on there. Uh, for like number one, I think I'd maybe have to put like I'm gonna kind of bundle them up like you did with the legendary beast. I'm gonna put the crocheted Pokemon my girlfriend made me because she made me like a really cute shiny Shuckle, but as well as that, she made me like a really big like all area plush, and it's such a cool plushie. So like that's honestly become one of my favorites. Another one is like the big jumbo Oshawott that she got me as well for my birthday a few years ago, from Pokemon Center. And now, like looking at the prices of that thing, it's like getting up there pretty much for like $100 and $200. So I'm like, oh, thank God she got me that. And then I'm kind of like stuck in between for number three being either like the Hasbro Poochyena, so like the first Poochyena plush ever made back in like '03, I believe, and the Comfy Friends Mabostiff I recently got because they're both like really good. I think Poochyena has like a really good like sense of nostalgia to me because like Poochyena is one of my favorite Pokemon, but also Mabostiff is like another one of my favorites. But also it's like one of the only few plushies that I've ever like actually gone to sleep with and like cuddled throughout the night.
Yeah, those are solid. The Comfy Friend plush, like they're fantastic. And Brando, if you don't have any, I highly recommend just like picking out your favorite, just going on Pokemon Center and picking one out because everyone should have at least one of these Comfy Friend plush.
I
They're
think they
so
had the Comfy Friends, the Eevee. They had the EVs.
Yeah.
I was like very adamant on like getting all those three, and I was like, I need those in my life, and I love them. They're like so cute too.
What sucks though is if you got the US release of the Comfy Friends plush of the Vaporeon, Flareon, and Jolteon, they have these really gorgeous tags from the Japan Pokemon Center, but the US one has those awful like cardboard ones. And it's like really sad that you, like if you order from the US, you missed out on that because some of these like tags that the plush you get from Japan are just so much better.
I hate the white
Yeah,
tags. They're really bad. Like the US tags
Yes.
are just like the worst ever. Like they weren't that bad a few years ago. Like I recently got a Mystery Dungeons Kecleon, like the purple Kecleon from Pokemon Center, and it still has like a really nice Mystery Dungeons tag. Some of them have really nice tags, and then you like get to like 2022, 2023, and they're the worst tags ever, especially with like the new like cardboard like booklet thing they put on it. It's ugh.
Yeah. Yeah, and now Japan's Pokemon Center line is switching over to those too. It's awful.
Are they really? That's terrible.
Yes, they are. So there's no point of buying both sides anymore unless you're buying a keychain plush. Because in the US, keychain plush have the plastic hooks, and in Japan, they actually still have the metal ones. Tend to be a little bit nicer.
Yeah. I like the only thing about that is that it's kind of like being normalized for me now to like remove tags of some of my more favorite ones. Like recently, I removed the tag off of my Joltik Sitting Cutie, and it honestly I haven't like regretted it yet because it was just such an ugly tag.
Yeah, I just hide my tags. I can't bring myself to do it.
Most of mine are also hidden, like all the Sitting Cuties, but those Sitting Cutie tags take up a lot of space.
Yeah, their tush tags are also insane, aren't they?
Oh yeah,
Or is it
trust me.
just a different line? Yeah,
I think they're like
they're
normal
huge.
tags. I think they're normal tags for like a normal plush, but they're the same like length as for a normal plush. So whenever you get a plush that's like 3 inches long, and the tag itself is like an inch and a half, it like kind of
Yeah,
like shows off.
yeah. I know for a while there, the US releases had like these really ridiculously long tags, and then their tush tags were just insane.
Oh god, yeah. It's just tags are very sadly becoming one of the least coolest parts about the plushies. It used to be like a really interesting addition, but now it's just kind of very lifeless.
Yeah.
unless it's like when they did the museum collab Pikachu plush that had the kimono on and like the red um I would say like bow in the ear. Um, those I would like keep those tags on because it just like they have like the little emblem from the collab or whatever, and that's like kind of cute. But other than they're still big as bookmarks, and that's what I use them for. Bookmarks. I take them off and use them as bookmarks for books.
That's actually a really good idea. I might start doing that as well.
Mm, yeah, too big of a tag. Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's too. Honestly, that kind of is basically what it looks like. Just basically just a book tag or a bookmark.
I think that's what
Yeah.
collectors are typically referring them as. Like they're called bookmark tags.
All right. I do have one more question before we end this off tonight, if that is cool with y'all. It's gonna be a simple one. What kind of plushie are you like most after? What's the one that you're like hunting for at the moment? For me, I am searching for the Pokemon Center Melmetal. That dude is very expensive, very fast. Like I say expensive, it's like 100, between that. But like whenever it comes to me, I'm kind of find it like kind of hard to spend too much money on something that's um not like some like Oshawott per se, because like I'm planning on spending that much if I can find like a shiny Oshawott plush from Tomy. But besides that, I'm like having trouble like pulling the bullet and getting the $100 Melmetal.
Hmm. I would say for me, I'm most excited or not excited, but most well yeah, excited. Um there's a Pikachu on well, I obviously want to get the Mabusive, but that's like later for me. I'm trying to get there's a Pikachu plush on Mega Japan. It is the from the new anime that they're releasing or have released. It's the Cap Pikachu, and it's like
Oh my gosh, yes.
and like I want it so bad because first of all it's from Tomy, so it's like I know it's gonna be quality, and it just looks like really cute.
I like saw that plush a while ago. I was like, oh my god, I that honestly might be one of the Pikachu plushies. Excuse me, that I plan to get like very quickly as soon as I can, because I like already love.
You
Oh, you keep on going. You keep on going.
no you can keep going.
I was gonna say I
You,
love the gimmick of the new Pikachu they have in the anime. He's so like awesome. That's all I was gonna say.
yeah, and you could actually I think you can pre-order it now. But it's the availability date is the 31st of January,
Oh, okay. So maybe I'll pull the trigger. We'll see.
and it's only $25 before tax. So,
Ooh, like, and is it U.S. or is it Japan? Japan.
so in yen, it's 3,795.
Okay.
If you take that to Google, that's $25 and 85 cent. It is obviously tax added to that, but
And you can't
uh,
forget shipping.
oh yeah, actually, let me
Oh
do
my
it now.
gosh, yes.
So in total, oh, it's still not that bad, really. So in yen, after everything shipping, all that is done, it's of 5,165 yen. In dollars, that's $35.18.
Oh, so that's not like crazy bad. That seems that's how a regular Pikachu plush is in Pokemon Center right now in the U.S. anyway.
Yeah,
Okay, gosh, who knew it would be crazy or easier to like buy and ship a plush from Japan to the U.S. than it is to buy one in the U.S.
and actually, if I don't know if this thing, okay, no, never mind. Okay, yeah, but yeah, I like stuff from Japan. It's like it's always a feeling of like, oh my god, I got this from a different country, and it's
Oh yeah.
like it's like it's kind of cute. It's like you took your little journey all the way from Japan, and you crossed the seas. I don't know about all seven of them, but you crossed some seas, and then you came here, and now you're with me, and yeah.
Let's hope there aren't any worms over the sea.
I hope I don't need a water bug or like sea urchin in my stuff.
Nah, you don't want a pin urchin, dude. A pin urchin would be kind of like honestly, if I saw a sea urchin just chilling in my like box from a plush that I got from Japan, I'd honestly be kind of impressed. I'm like, I'd be confused on how he got there, but I'd still be very impressed.
Yeah, listen. Any plush for me is a good plush, but I want to go to Japan and like actually get one. Because my thing is when I go to, or my new thing I recently started doing is when I go to different country, instead of buying like, people get like keychains for themselves or like for refrigerator magnet. I don't really like that because it's just not me. My thing is now like get Pokemon cards and then plush from different country because this it means more to me.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's for like Pokemon card wise. Whenever I do is like if I'll like get some cards, and then if I get like a really rare card, like recently I got the Evolving Skies, the All Art Espeon VMAX, and I like sold it
Mm.
for like 150. All that just went to like plush money.
That's good.
Yeah. How about you, Sappy? Do you have any Pokemon plush that you're like specifically hunting for right now?
Actually, talked about it a little bit. Was the Raikou Giant, but I don't see that happening anytime soon.
Oh yeah.
And- I
I'll
mean,
look for it too. If you
Sprigatito act. I wish the best of luck because it's like that thing is so elusive. But Sprigatito actually just got 3 new plush announced because why not? And a bit more merch, so I've got that to look forward to because those are achievable dreams.
did you happen to already get the
There's
one? Oh, sorry. I was gonna ask if you had already
oh,
happened to
yeah.
get the one that I don't know the exact line name. It's like I saw it in Mecca. It's like a fuzzy one, but he's like standing up. It isn't like the same line as a Rockruff, I believe. Have you happened to grab that one yet?
It actually hasn't released yet. That's one of the new ones. But I do
Uh,
know what you're talking about. I have a friend who is like he's so good with keeping up with merch and he just spams me with new merch and makes me suffer.
make your bank
But
account
yeah,
suffer at least.
yes. But he's the one that sent me those 3 pictures, and yeah, one of them is the standing like fuzzy one. I actually don't use Mecha Japan. Um, there is actually an easy way. I'll have to show you guys sometime to order directly from Pokemon Center Japan as well as um, Tomi's website sometimes.
Is it like a
I'll have
cheaper
to show you
option?
guys how to do
Ooh.
that. Much cheaper. It's
Ooh.
so the new Christmas stuff that released on Pokemon Center in Japan, I was able to order everything and get it shipped. Like I have my own Japanese like address, but it gets shipped to a warehouse. But I just like put in this address that the company gave me, and I can order directly myself without using like Mecca as a upcharge.
Okay. Yeah, that honestly,
So
yeah, I would really appreciate it if you showed us how to do that. That sounds like a really good idea.
yeah,
Yeah.
All right.
so I'll show you how to do it. There's an easier way to do it because the one with the address is a little bit funky because most sites now require you to have a Japanese cell phone, which can be tricky. So I'll show you how to get the extension to just buy it yourself.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
All right, we are about at the 40-minute line, so I think we're going to call it here for now. I don't know exactly how long other episodes are going to be in the future. Maybe I'd like to start covering like PokePlush news. If that interests y'all, we'll maybe do different things. We could talk about it. But I really hoped you guys enjoyed being on here and talking around, just talking about Pokemon plushies, nerding out a little bit.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I have a question of the day for everybody viewing this right now. I'd love to hear it. It's going to be what got you guys into Pokemon plush collecting? So you've heard all of our stories. I'd love to hear y'all's. And then if we get anybody actually doing the question of the day, I will maybe pull out a few and talk about it later. But Brando and Sabi, do you have any ats that y'all want to put? Tag yourself in there. On YouTube, I do have the description, and in the description we'll have all of our tags on there. So feel free to check that out. But if y'all want to say it real quick, I am down to hear.
I'm just the real Sabi Wolf on TikTok. That's all.
And for me, it's Brando Love spelled like Luv. That's how you find my Instagram, my TikTok. That's how you find my Snapchat too. But like, don't add me on Snapchat because that's Snapchat scares me, and I block people on there. But yeah, that's how you find me.
I've like gotten out of the tick. Like I feel like once you leave high school, at least for us, because I think we're like about the same age. You're 21 and I'm 22, so I think like as soon as you leave high school, for the most part, like TikTok or not TikTok, Snapchat becomes like such a different thing to you, and you barely use it. There's like a few people that I know that use it, but for the most part, everybody kind of like gets rid of the app.
For me, it's like to communicate with coworkers. I still like use Snapchat because it's just like it's free unlimited storage. Like you can save your own pictures to Snapchat, and it's like really cool. But it's just like I keep it only for like family and friends mostly. If anybody else, everybody else get blocked. Because like, why like it's like why do you want to see like no?
They just want to see your plush collection on Snapchat. Is that too hard to know?
Yeah, well, like I don't really post. Do I post my pictures on Snapchat? I do, kinda, a little bit.
I was too scared to back whenever I was in high school. I was scared I'd get made fun of.
Yeah, in high school, yeah, yeah, they would have said something, but now it's just like when people actually, really crazy thing. I gave one of my one of my former managers that I used to work with before he got transferred to a different location. I gave him a Bulbasaur recently, and I didn't know that he would like that stuff or like plushes or anything Pokemon. And I was like, wow, I didn't know you like that.
Got a new collector, hopefully.
Hopefully.
All right, cool. Well, thank you two for joining. I really appreciate y'all. Hopefully next week if we do another episode, I'll talk to you guys about that. And thank you everybody viewing and listening to this right now. I'm gonna try to get this for sure on YouTube and then maybe on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We'll see from there. But this is episode 1, just introductions, and we are the PokePlush Podcast, and we will see you guys later. Bye bye everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.